Hi, welcome to this video. This is Tina from tinaheals.com, and today I'm speaking about an Aries ascendant, a Gemini moon, and a Pisces sun, which is a pretty interesting combination because you've got a bit of cardinal fire, a bit of mutable air, and a bit of mutable water. So definitely a lot of change and flux. And I must say you do have a difficult position of the moon as well as the sun. But before we get to that, let us dive into understanding the concept of the ascendant rising sign, the moon sign and the sun sign before we can progress and discuss in detail each of these. So the degree of the zodiac rising on the eastern side of the horizon at the moment of your birth is your ascendant degree, and the sign on which it falls is your rising sign. For you, this is Aries. So when you walk into a room with your Aries purposeful stride and with your piercing eyes, and you're not afraid of eye contact, and you're not afraid to go ahead and get what you want, people notice that, and that is your ascendant. It is the first thing people notice about you. Okay, it's not your sun as most people think, it is your ascendant sign. So understanding your ascendant is very important. It is the first point of touch the soul makes when it incarnates, right? So after the 30th degree of Pisces, which is the degree of archetypalization, the soul enters Aries with a mini big bang. Okay, and everything is new again, and everything is fresh, and spring is here. As Claudius Ptolemy in the Tetrabiblos, I'm quoting from there, he says, the moistness of spring forms a primary beginning in the zodiac, similar to the beginning of all animal life. So Aries is the true new beginning, a kind of a reset. Okay, it definitely speaks of a change of directionality when your soul is born with an Aries ascendant. It means you're here to conquer, not necessarily in a negative way, but to conquer the physical realm. Okay, your ruler is Mars, the red planet. Your color is red, but your esoteric ruler, your soul ruler, is Mercury, which is all about the higher mind, or the manas, right? So ultimately Aries, the soul lesson of an Aries ascendant is the ideation of your higher mind, cogitation of the higher mind, and tuning in to that vibration, not giving in to the Martian warfare and conflict, because there can be tons of that with your Aries ascendant, but not giving into that, but truly understanding how the higher plane of the mind operates, right? So as Aries is the infant of the zodiac, much of the shadows, the shadow work and the lessons of an Aries ascendant has to deal with this process of growing up. Now, growing up is not an easy process. When you're an infant, to how you grew up into a toddler, to how you became 7 years old, it's not an easy process. It constitutes pain, growth pains, okay, and other disturbances, your teeth falling out. There's so much you have to deal with. So much of the shadows and lessons of Aries has to deal with this infant growing up. But it's beautiful when the infant grows up, right? And as eminent astrologer Stephen Forrest points out, that the goal of Aries is ultimately enlightened selfishness. Aries is about me, me, me. But how can we take this me, me and translate it into we? Okay, that is a huge part of understanding the 3D, when you soak into the experiences that Aries bring forth. These are not easy experiences because the fire of Aries is agitating. It is not a soothing influence. It's a domain of Mars, so you can imagine it deals with conflict and strife, and whenever you feel like you are divorced from your the energy of your ascendant, always align yourself with your authentic vibration. Live with authenticity. Yes, soak in all experiences, but understand after your soul going through the 30th degree of Pisces, there's a kind of a culmination of efforts, and a new direction is given to you, right? A new path to trailblaze. Aries, you are the trailblazer, whether you know it or not. You have a ruddy complexion because the head, this is very much in focus for Aries ascendants. How you look as Aries, remember that. The ascendant decides how you look. So you can have a ruddy complexion, you love your highlighters, you love streaks in your hair. I've seen a lot of Aries ascendant people, men and women, tend to keep their hair short. Okay, they just like it that way. They like head accessories, maybe shades. A lot of them wear eyeglasses because they have issues with the eyes. Afflicted Mars can see you having issues with your ears, your eyes, your nose, even your gums. Your teeth can be very sensitive. Even the hair can be brittle and can be fragile. So much fire going on, you know, the hair can be fragile, so be mindful of that. You can have acne, persistent acne, if you have an afflicted Mars in Aries, so that is something to work with. Migraine, hypertension, anxiety, after all Virgo is your 6th house, you can't avoid that. So definitely, you're impulsive, temperamental, boisterous, rambunctious, restless. You need to feed your adrenaline. Okay, so keep that in check, otherwise things can just escalate, and it can be very painful for you and everyone concerned. Right now, I have to say, be careful of violence, gun violence, be careful of heavy machinery, be careful of any kind of road rage. Okay, so no drinking, driving, and letting your Aries ascendant or Aries Mars get out of hand. No. Now, I have to say that the position of your moon is not easy. Moon in Gemini is probably the most difficult placement of the moon. Gemini is the 3rd sign of the zodiac. It's all about communication, ruled by Mercury. Okay, on the traditional level. So you see again the connection of Mercury, because Mercury rules Aries in its soul hierarchy. So here you have the plane of mind very clear for you. Understanding the plane of mind, initiating something in the direction of communication, writing, blogging, anything like that. With your moon and Mercury, you're never afraid of learning new things. Even if you've not had a higher education, you're not afraid to learn new things. You want to go out there, you want to learn. You may not be able to focus your concentration for long into something particular because your mind is all over the place. It's like Gemini, they're all over the place. Gemini is such a complex sign that its energy is actually in all the 12 signs, because nothing in 3D can be accomplished without communication. It is the first sign of communication. And the Gemini, the soul wants to communicate, okay, and does not understand emotions. So emotionally, you may be dry and cold. You may not, even if you don't feel like that, you have Pisces sun, so you may not be like that, but you may divorce yourself from emotions. 3rd house is again learning, always open to learning. Local transport, so you may be very attached to a particular car or a bike that you have, any form of transport. You may have an older sibling with a 3rd house moon. You may have an older sibling who's very close to you, almost like a mother, and that person can be Cancer, Sun, Moon, Ascendant. It happens a lot with your third house Gemini moon. Now, another thing with the Gemini moon is, do not be afraid to connect with people. You do want to connect with people, but on a very superficial level, and then you're always looking to move from person to person or experience to experience. Soak up in all the experiences, no issues, but don't hurt others as well as yourself. Okay? And you may be deluded, because Gemini in many cases can be out of touch with reality. And when we talk about touch with reality, let's get to Pisces. Sun in Pisces is not a good placement, very difficult placement. 12th house Sun, father was never there, or father was an alcoholic, or you know, just a lot of issues with health, because again this is your Sun is opposing your 6th house cusp. So a lot of health issues can pop up with this. As I said, migraine, anxiety, a lot of health issues. So even in your digestive tract, because Virgo does rule the digestive tract, take care of hypertension. And with the Pisces Sun, the Sun is our father. The Sun is our outward projection of our internal key, our goals, our ambitions. Pisces is the 12th sign of the zodiac. It's all about mysticism, spirituality, dissolving boundaries, the domain of Neptune. Okay, and the sole ruler of Pisces is Pluto. Interestingly, Aries and Pisces are two signs that are associated with death. And Scorpio is the third sign, but in esoteric astrology, these three signs are considered to be the signs that are associated to death. So having a 12th house Sun can bring its own issues, but once you deal with that, you can tune into a very intuitive field of understanding how reality operates. So you definitely have the mystic in you. You definitely have the spiritual seeker in you, the healer in you, the mystical artist in you. And with your Gemini moon, you have the idea, you have the wherewithal to communicate it. And with Aries, you might want to start new things all the time, but be mindful of completion and tend to detailing. Pisces not great for detailing. Mutable water. You know, Gemini not great with detailing. Mutable air. And cardinal fire not great with staying with a particular thing or particular idea. So stick to something before you decide to move on to something new. Take your time to arrive to your conclusions, but once you've done that, stick to it. Stick to it, and create mystical art and communicate it to the people, and trailblaze your way through, because that's what you're meant to do, and integrate all the pain and all the lessons that have come your way. Because remember, being the infant of the zodiac, those were growth pains and nothing more. You will return to source code as you have come. Hope you liked that video. Subscribe, like, comment, share, and let me know what you think. Please visit my website www.tinahills.com.